750cc bikes. There's a manufacturing facility in Jakarta as well to take care of the Asian market. So there's automotive manufacturing, components, distribution, like any large group. There's finance, insurance, etc. I think the key point here is TVS, as we call it, is trust, value, and service. And key focus area is how do we add value and how do we add quality to all products. And in terms of quality in the manufacturing, I think 5 or 6 deeming awards and excellence awards have been awarded to various companies in the group. Evolving out of that, about 25 years ago, TVS Supply Chain or TVS Logistics was formed, and today it is rebranded as TVS Supply Chain. The company is expanded around the world. There's US, there's Europe, Asia, and India, of course. So the footprint expands right from Australia, New Zealand, China, Singapore, Malaysia, in the Asia region, among other places. US is there, Mexico is there, UK, Germany, Spain, and Europe. India, per se, is quite a large footprint, almost 300 plus warehouse locations, 3,000 trucks at any given point of on the road in India. Yeah, many shipments, etc. So pretty well entrenched in terms of an end-to-end logistics service provider in various verticals. So moving to India per se, apart from all the agricultural first, India is fortunately, oops. Yeah, sorry, okay. Maybe I'll go with this one. So yeah, I just touched upon this. Okay, yeah, so India is today, I think in the last 20 years, all the various initiatives, or 20, 25 years, India has come a long way, and today is one of the largest economies or fastest growing economies in the world. It's in terms of IT communication, it's the #1 country, the #2 country in Asia for refinery, mobile phone market, footwear, steel, road network, etc. Pharmaceuticals as well as a big market in India. In terms of GDP growth, it's good to see 8% plus kind of a GDP growth when compared to the other markets. Huge young population and largest amount of engineers which come out of various colleges. So the perfect V, I suppose, that many countries witnessed. For the last decade, averaging anywhere between 6 to 8% kind of growth, dropped down significantly during COVID and then bounced back. Last year has been really good with 9% plus growth, and this year as well at around 8%. So yeah, so hopefully, even though these numbers are there, it filters down right to the bottom of the chain. So anybody's guess, it is, I mean, the impact of all our, the inflation and Ukraine war, etc. Hopefully these numbers will then sustain. So the important thing here is, I think, one side on the import side, inbound or basically products coming into India. So the growth of numbers has been there. You can see a 514 number 2019. There's some level of growth, a 551 number. And on the export front, so which predominantly says goods manufactured in India and then exported out, right? So there's been a very significant 40% kind of growth which has happened over the last year. Hopefully this momentum will sustain. Various initiatives taken by private industry, government, etc. So today, manufacturing contributes about 14% of GDP. The aim is to reach about 20% in the next few years, 2025. A lot of momentum and push has been given to the manufacturing industry. and across products, right? So you can see over the last couple of years, huge growth in petroleum products, cotton, fabrics, gems, jewelry, engineering goods, coffee, electronics. Couple of examples of even iPhone, which came in only 2 years ago, 1 million phones being shipped out of India, Indian chemicals, defense companies, electronic goods. So a wide variety of goods getting manufactured in India across the country and moving out of the country. So one is import-export kind of an activity. India itself being a large country with a huge population, the Indian economy itself is very robust, so the domestic market as well is a huge opportunity. Some of the various different countries around the world, electronics, you can see engineering goods, petroleum goods, etc., from around the world, and different products as well. So automotive, pharmaceuticals, the telecom companies, wind power and sustainable energy, defense, aerospace as well. So those of you looking to invest, expand out into India, I think many projects, and it's a very attractive investment climate. Just a couple of points. There are incentive based on various commodities. There's a single window system, one district, one product, which is focusing on certain areas which focus on certain products, automotive, pharmaceutical, electronics, etc. And of course, the various initiatives on startup. And a lot of investments into infrastructure as well. So there's a project called Sagarmala, which is investments into the coastal zones and all the ports. There is a Bharatmala, which is a road network or infrastructure into road. There is a railway increased investment into high-speed freight corridors, apart from RMS, single window clearances. Government has invested quite a bit into infrastructure. Obviously, there's a long way to go. Yeah, but all this moving the right direction and then flowing back into the economy. So just to touch upon today's global situation, I think we're all very well aware, extremely volatile ocean and air freight rates over the last 2-3 years since COVID, increasing the overall cost of goods, shortage of space, congestion, increased transit time. So some of the things that we have done is obviously try and enter into some kind of a long-term rates where it is applicable in those markets. Keep a percentage. Okay, so what we talked about in the morning is how effective is lean management. So maybe warehousing is a solution, maybe storing some material or safety stock is available in some markets, buffering up additional lead time, and using an end-to-end partner who can then take care of all your requirements. So in just closing, some key takeaways. So India is very clearly positioned itself as a China plus one policy or a China plus one strategy, where companies look at alternatives. That is very clear and evident during COVID, where companies cannot have only one country strategy. Obviously, there is a long way to go. Ease of business is today at about 63% and 63 ranking, and then there is some way to go there as well. But good economy, investments coming in, government focus is there, infrastructure opportunities are there. Yeah, I missed this slide earlier. So come to India, invest in India, use a good end-to-end supply chain player, and TVS companies are there to help you. Okay, that's it from my end. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation. We have a few minutes for questions
Sure.
to the audience. Anyone would like to know a little bit more about the do's and don'ts doing business in India?
Two questions, if you may. You know, India is so big, oftentimes hard to think about it as one country, like you said. Which states would you say, if you're looking into logistics distribution into India itself, that you would think maybe 3 to prioritize? Particularly for electric vehicles, which I think is a new industry that's coming up as well, and there's growth. You know, which states are also looking into that area? So that's my 2 questions.
Okay, so I'll take the electric vehicle first. So the southern states seem to be ahead of the game in terms of the electric vehicles. A lot of activity happening in the Bangalore, Karnataka belt, Hosur, Tamil Nadu belt, Andhra belt. So lot of maybe startup companies are coming up there with a lot of investments over there. But having said that, many of the passenger cars or many of the existing car manufacturers, vehicle manufacturers, are also converting their facilities to electric vehicles. So that is spread around typically the port cities. So you have Gujarat, Maharashtra belt as one, you have the southern region as one. Pune is also there, yeah, but typically around the port cities, which then take care of, catering to the other markets.
Do we have any other questions? You mentioned in your presentation, you talked about one province, one product, one focus area. Which focus area, or which provinces focus on different areas? Where can the people or the business, where can they find these informations from the government, or what is the best way to find the right setup in the region of India?
So there is a actually government website called investindia.org that has quite a bit of information. But traditionally, the markets, whether if it's around leather, garments, footwear, traditionally has been in certain pockets of India, automotive, pharmaceuticals. So that is how it has been. But then today, with various states competing with each other to kind of get more business, more of their share, depending on the size and scale of the kind of investment that is coming in, states are offering incentives. So I think all these aspects have to be taken into account too. But the website is investindia.org.
All right. From a supply chain perspective, what are the pitfalls the shippers need to watch out or should watch out when they engage in manufacturing, maybe more the trade compliance and looking into the ease of doing business with customs clearance and free trade agreements?
Yeah, so today, obviously the speed, the speed maybe does not match a Singapore or a developed country, but probably it is good to keep in mind that if it's not 2 hours, it is maybe 6 hours or 8 hours, right? So that's one. Many of the electronic companies have come and set up factory there. Foxconn as an example, where goods are shipped out from Asia into India, and then customs cleared and goes into their factory within 4 hours. So there are certain corridors, corridors in place to help ease of business. Depending on your product, you can get that sorted out. But something to keep in mind is there is some level of elasticity, if I can say.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Yes, please.
So Marcus mentioned this in what he just said, free trade agreements.
Yeah.
India is reluctant to participate in RCEP, the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. They're not in CPTPP. We have a very famous free trade agreement between India and Singapore, the CECA. What's in your opinion, is this a stumbling block? Because India seems very reluctant to participate on that global stage on an equal footing. Yeah? So is this a stumbling block that makes it less attractive, or is it just a misconception?
So I'll say it's a misconception. So that's one. Politically, maybe I'm not qualified to say this, but then politically there are many things going on between India and China. So even though China is one of the largest trading partners of India, politically there are many things going on, many things are not allowed. There is a ban on certain apps or technology. But China is the #1 trading partner of India. So like that, I think politically there are certain interests being taken, but I think business-wise it's a different scenario.
All right, do we have any last questions? One more?
As for the labor force in India, what are the general trends? Because you see that a lot of manufacturing activities are moving to India, but I heard from, I say friends in India saying that generally the labor force in India are not so keen to work in manufacturing. So could I know your take on this?
No, I don't. You're saying generally workforce is not interested in manufacturing.
Not so keen to work in
No, not so. I don't think that's so realistic. I think there is a large amount of people interested in manufacturing, service industry, etc. That's very, very prominent. So I don't think it's a challenge. Many of the colleges have colleges, state governments, etc. arrange for these kind of job mela, as it is called, where you can go and pick up, depending on the quality and qualification of the people that you want, you can go and pick up people for that. So that's not a problem at all.
All right, then again, a round of applause to Mr. Siddharth for
Thank you very much.
of TVS Supply Chain.